Hello, and welcome to the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman, your host. Today, I want to talk about how to stay calm and focused and happy during a question and answer period. I've had a lot of people speak to me lately. They say, I get really nervous during the question and answer period. If somebody asks me a question, I can go on and on and on and blather. Whereas a question and answer period is actually a gift to you. If you're presenting, say you're presenting to upper management, which is where people mostly get nervous around question and answer, that's what tends to wake up the voices in our heads that say, oh, you're not good enough. They're going to think you're stupid. They don't know. But the truth is, if you're the presenter, you know more about this particular subject than your listeners do. Because if they already knew, they wouldn't be asking you. So you know more, you are the expert. What you can do as the expert is to prepare your talking points. You know you have a limited amount of time, so you always want to make sure that you've got your strongest point is the one that finishes. For each of the talking points, as you go through them, think about what I call the yeah, but moments. Where are the places where your listeners would be thinking, yes, but what about the other thing? What about this other piece of it? The yeah, buts are the little objections or the little problems that people will automatically push back, especially when you declare something. You can answer them immediately by saying, now you may be thinking, Elizabeth says, be calm and cool and be happy that question answer periods, but I still get nervous. I still forget what I'm going to say. That's the sort of thing, if they're thinking about the yeah, but moments, they're not listening to what you have to say. Prepare for those and then prepare for questions. You probably know who's going to be listening to you. So when you putting yourself at the very beginning into the shoes of your listener, into the brain of your listener, what do they want to know? Then when you do your presentation, always be ready with a couple of extra points. I like to think about the presentation will be the headlines of an article. You know how you're reading a magazine article and you skip through the headlines, and then if there's something that catches your attention, you'll read the paragraph. Most people do that. You, as the presenter, are giving them the headlines, the basics, because you don't have time to give them all the context, all the information. Make sure that you have a couple of subheadings, a couple of extra points that you can throw in if somebody wants to know more. Assume that they're going to want to know more. That's always a good thing. Be ready for that. Now, and this is in the planning as you're preparing your presentation. You always want to be sure that you know more or less what you know what you're going to say. You know where you will elaborate concisely, briefly, if somebody wants to know. If it's something that's going to be a really long answer, then you can always say, that's a much longer conversation. Can I send you something about that? Or could we have a separate conversation about this? Quite often in a question and answer period, there will be someone who has a completely different agenda from the one that you're trying to propose. And they may need to ask something that's going to give them a chance to talk. It's your time. You get to say, that's a much larger conversation. Please contact me. We'll talk about it. This is especially if you're presenting to the public, they don't know you. The place where we tend to psych ourselves out is when you're presenting to a boss, somebody in upper management. There's something about that hierarchy that makes people think, I do this too, that makes people think, oh, he's really important, or she's, her good, I need to make a good impression on her so that she will approve what I do. Maybe I can get that next promotion. If you are psyching yourself out about what they might be thinking about you, what do they think about you? Then you'll be stuck in your own head and you won't have a chance to truly focus on what they are actually asking. The truth is, most of the time, if they are asking a question, it's because they're interested and you're the expert. So be prepared. Remember that you are giving them a gift of knowledge. This presentation is a gift. Maybe it's a progress report. Maybe it's a report about a problem you found and you have to be able to deal with it. It might be bad news. If it's bad news, it's not just you, it's the whole company or the whole group that has to deal with it. You might be the person who has to deliver the bad news, but there's always going to be a solution somewhere. If they have a question, if they have a concern, it's because they want to know and you are the expert. That's where pre-planning will help you out. If you have in advance some possible answers, you can do that. The other place that people worry about all the time, and truly worrying about question and answer periods is something that happens beforehand, and it can sabotage you when you're in the question and answer period. Remind yourself that it's a gift. It's okay to not have the answer at your fingertips. You may be an expert, but if you have a lot of information in your head, it's okay to say, I don't have the response. I don't have it at my fingertips. Can I get back to you on that? That should be fine. Be prepared as you can. If they ask you something you haven't thought of, say, good question. Here's the other part. The best answer always is, good question. That's a great question. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. It acknowledges the person who's asking the question, and it gives you an extra couple of seconds to think. So that's always good. When you are talking about good question, bad question, answer them that way, then give them what you can. There's one more piece of this. If you are doing a public presentation, say you're doing an informational webinar to a group and you don't know who's listening, you may not know, there might not be anybody who asks a question. And then you have dead air, which is horrible. That's one of the worst things. If nobody asks the question, it doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't like you. It just means that they're thinking about something else, or they don't have a question at the moment. Here's where preparation can help you again. Be prepared with one of your extra points where if they had asked the question, you could answer. A great phrase for this is, one of the questions I get a lot is, how do I cope if nobody actually has a question? Then you can offer an extra little tidbit, a little extra piece of information that will help people. Quite often, that is the tidbit that stays in their minds. So make sure it is memorable, make sure it's a hook. And remember, question and answer periods are a gift. You are giving them a gift of extra knowledge. Embrace it, enjoy it, have fun. This has been Elizabeth Bachman. I'll see you on the next one.